Welcome to Back into the Future with Mark and Carol. Well, hello everyone. It's the present.
It is.
It's the time that you're living in right now.
It is 2021.
For only a couple more weeks.
That's true. I mean, it might be 2022 when you're listening to this.
Yeah, that's true. Who knows? It might be 2045 when you listen to this.
Oh, jeez. God, how old would we be?
I would be 66 years old.
Wow. I guess that'll happen someday, huh? Hopefully. Knocking on wood.
I would assume the year 2045 will happen someday, yes.
So we have our daughter, Bella, here.
Yeah. Hi. AKA niece Bella.
Right. From Bella's Corner on the Massive Late Fee show, if anyone has heard that.
Right.
So we wanted to do a little updated show because we saw Spiderman last night.
For Bella's birthday, the 17th of December.
Her 8th birthday.
National Shoot Up Your School Day.
Yeah, that was insane. Oh, my God. Like, I dropped...
Fun to take the kids to school on that day, huh?
Yeah, I dropped our oldest off, and I saw police cars at the school, and I was like, oh, that's unsettling. What's going on? So then Mark looked it up for me, and, yeah, I was a little nervous after that.
Yeah.
Like, why did they have school on that day? Why didn't we just have, like, a break day?
Because we don't give in to fear, Bella.
Right, we're not, catering to terrorists.
Because a bunch of morons on TikTok were like, hey, everybody bring your guns to school on the 17th and, show them who's boss or what, I don't know. But it was all a bunch of bullshit. Nothing happened. Very predictably, nothing happened.
Did you notice there were fewer kids in your class on that day, though? Yeah. There was a lot fewer people in school on that day.
Well, I mean, like, the thing is, though, it was her birthday, and it was their Christmas party and her birthday party. It's like, fuck you guys.
And I made 4 dozen cupcakes.
You couldn't have done it for the day they come back from vacation or something? What the fuck?
Right, so, yeah.
But we saw, speaking of terrible teenagers, we saw Spider-Man.
We did. And I'm never going to a movie theater ever again.
Carol's now come around to my point of view as far as... the movie theater experience is a horrible, horrible experience.
Well, because
it
was a sold-out show.
Yeah.
And there were annoying teenage boys sitting next to me.
Mm-hmm.
The one directly next to me took off his shoes. I could smell his stinky Swiss cheese-smelling feet. Okay.
You're not in your living room.
He brought a blanket.
Asshole.
Did you see that? Yeah, he had a blanket. Like, that said to me right away, this is not going to be good.
Was the blanket moving?
Ew, okay, I sure hope not. Ew.
What a weird thing to bring into a movie theater.
Well, did you see some people were in their pajamas? I mean, people are weird. Nobody knows how to live outside anymore.
Apparently not. What the fuck's going on? Yeah, and then in front of... So tell them about what, all the terrible things.
Well, he kept screaming something about Shazza! And I don't know what that means. And at one point he was like, I love Shazza! I want to F Shazza! And I'm like, who is he talking about? I thought he was excited about somebody who's going to be in the movie.
Right.
But I don't think that's anybody's name.
I think it's just a teenage expression.
It was weird. And it was like he was screaming right in my ear. And then he screamed so loud, I got his spittle on my leg. I was so upset. And at certain points, he started making these, like, I'm going to barf sounds. That, like, I was really afraid that there were going to be multiple bodily fluids on me. Like,
oh, my God.
I was just very scared. And, like, the usher people came over because they were on their phone. Not him, his friend next to him. And told them to put away their phone and came back another time to tell them to be quiet. And the people in front of us tell them about that.
Well, there was a couple kids in front of us and their mom, and one of the kids was on his fucking stupid cell phone watching some cartoon while the movie's going on because no one can pay attention to anything anymore. And the light is just shining directly into my face, distracting me from the movie. So at one point I had to put my knee up to block, kind of shifted my leg to a certain way so that it would block the actual glare from their cell phone.
My brother said that his seat got kicked by somebody.
Which is kind of insane if you consider how big the rows are now.
Yeah, there's a lot of distance between seats.
But he said the person was so excited when somebody came on screen that they like jumped up and hit his chair. So
Yeah.
I guess that is possible.
I guess.
It was like everybody was so excited when their favorites came on screen because this was
When anyone came on screen.
anyone, yes.
It was like the season finale of a sitcom with every character that comes in being that special guest star character. It was
Yeah.
like,
I mean, I cheered the first few times, but after a while, I was just sitting there with my arms crossed, thinking "fuck you all."
Mm-hmm.
I was so done.
yeah.
It was a good movie, though.
Yeah. Quality film.
I'm sorry for you guys. The only problem for me is that everybody was screaming and I bet you like people like that like you probably couldn't barely hear the movie since he was like screaming in your ear.
Well, yeah, it was a problem that we couldn't hear the beginning of dialogue in some scenes because
Yeah.
people were being so excited.
Right.
Like, I get you're excited. That's fine, but it was too much. And then there was clapping, and the asshole next to me. I don't know if you realize that it was the one right next to me that was doing this bullshit, but it was. He was like, everybody's clapping, and then he just started randomly clapping because he thought it was funny. And he got a response from some asshole a few rows back. So then they were like taking turns. He'd be like, and then the other guy'd be like, and I wanted to be like, fuck you. It was awful.
Yeah. Awful, awful people.
If you want to clap, at least do it like a little golf clap.
Right, Bella. That's right. You tell him.
Bella, what did you think of the movie?
Well, other from all the people that were being so annoying, I like the movie. I like the movie.
What was your favorite part of the movie?
My favorite part of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is hard.
Who's your favorite Spider-Man?
Yeah.
That's not hard. I
There's
know your favorite Spider-Man.
Multiple Spider-Mans in this.
The person that was the first person that came on the screen, the first Spider-Man that we saw in this movie.
Tom Holland?
Yeah.
The one from the Marvel Universe? Not Tobey Maguire, not the old Spider-Man?
No, I don't like that one anymore.
Why? Because he's old?
He's an old man.
No, I'm just kidding. I like it. So I just like it. I just like that other one better now.
She thought Tobey Maguire was awesome, and we watched all the old Spider-Man
You're right.
movies.
It's this Spider-Man was better now, okay?
Okay.
Wow.
Interesting.
So she's you know why? Because Tom Holland had his shirt off at one point in this movie. That's why.
She does like to see men without shirts on. I have noticed this phenomenon with our 8-year-old.
What? No.
But anyway, so it's as I'm sure you know. Okay, so spoiler. Obviously, this whole discussion is going to be spoil filled. So if you haven't seen the movie, it's brand new. So if you haven't seen the movie, go. This is not like usual when we're spoiling movies that are 25 years old.
Right.
But if you haven't seen the movie, go see it before you listen to this.
If you want to brave the theater in, COVID world.
Right, exactly. But yeah, it should be Spider-Man Omicron Way Home.
Right. The only reason we were willing to brave going out on opening day to a sold-out theater is because we just had COVID.
Yeah.
So we're safe.
We're vaccinated and we got it. So,
Yeah.
Yay! But anyway, so this is like obviously it's a multiversal thing. I don't know how many of you have seen Loki, but Loki's also that has a multiverse type connection to it as well. There's a bit of a connection to, I guess, the Venom movie.
Yeah, it looked like.
And I haven't seen Venom, but I guess the Venom Let There Be Carnage, I think, like the post-credit scene, I think of that, like establishes him as being in the Marvel universe as well.
Okay.
So I think that they're going to have some kind of crossover.
I forgot about that. We should see Venom. When the last time we went to the movies, when we took the kids, what were we seeing? They had a preview of Venom, and it upset Bella so much.
We saw Black Widow.
Yeah, at the Black Widow movie. Yeah, remember the preview that made you like cry and like hide your face and stuff?
Yeah, that was carnage.
No, there was like so many scary movies like coming up on the screen. I literally just wanted to actually run out and wait until the movie started.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so obviously there's a cross between that too, but this is a multiversal movie, so the multiverse is in full effect in the Marvel universe now, and I guess Sam Raimi's Spider-Man is another universe, and so is Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man.
Yeah,
it surprised me how good of chemistry Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield had.
Yeah.
I want to see a Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movie now.
I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think there's ever going to be another movie they're in together.
I don't think it's going to happen either, but I want to see a movie where it's just the two of them partnered together.
That would be nice. It was weird to see Tobey Maguire like old. And what made it even sadder was to realize that he's not that much older than me.
Yeah, it was fun to see his little making his Peter Parker face.
Yeah,
with the whole, he's got the wide eyes and the whatever he does with his mouth.
Right.
But he was doing it. He was doing the whole thing.
Oh yeah.
And I love Andrew Garfield's like, so you're gonna go into battle dressed as a youth pastor or a hip youth pastor? What?
Hey, I want to tell you my favorite supervillain.
Okay.
Dr. Ock.
Yeah, he was good. Of the new, not new, but of the old villains that are in this movie. So I didn't expect really to see the lizard guy from the Amazing Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, they brought them all back.
I think the first one, and then the second one was Electro. But I didn't expect to see him, but he was there. Electro was there, as previously mentioned. Sandman was there. Dr. Ock and the Green Goblin, almost the Sinister Six, the Sinister Five. They were missing one.
How do you know that Electric Man and that little lizard guy? I don't even know who those people are.
Well, they're from the Amazing Spider-Man movies, which you haven't seen. Those are from the Andrew Garfield ones.
Yeah, we need to watch those too.
I don't really want to see that lizard man ever again. He has the creepiest face.
He does have a creepy face, Bella. He does.
Even when he's in his human form. Alfred Molina, I think they de-aged him. Doesn't look like they de-aged Willem Dafoe, but I think they de-aged Alfred Molina.
Yeah, he looked pretty much the same. Mm-hmm. William Dafoe looked a little bit older, 20 years ago or whatever when they did it. So it wasn't. I don't think he looked that much older.
No,
he just looked older.
He doesn't
in
look
general.
that different from when he looked back then. But
like at a certain point, I guess you just hit that I look old spot and stay there, and then you hit the I look ancient spot.
Right.
He hasn't hit ancient yet.
Willem Dafoe was young looking in Apocalypse Now, and then ever since then it's been old looking.
Right.
But yeah, so I enjoyed the movie. It's one of those where, like, first blush, I'd say it's probably top 3 of the Spider-Man movies for me.
Okay.
I don't know where I would put it amongst the Marvel movies necessarily, but it's a difficult one. I was a little worried because when I heard Doctor Strange was going to be in this, I'm like, man, Tony Stark was in the first Spider-Man movie, and then he appeared a little bit in the second one too, and like, who else was in the second one? Oh, Jake Gyllenhaal was in the second one, and he was like, that's right. Tony Stark was already dead by the second Spider-Man movie, but Jake Gyllenhaal was in there, and Samuel L. Jackson too, and it's like, okay, I mean, but like, is he gonna get to carry his own movie? And when I heard Doctor Strange was gonna be there, I was like, oh my god, don't let Doctor Strange be his new like fucking mentor or something.
No.
Like that. But that didn't happen, thankfully. Doctor Strange gets, in a very humorous way, sidelined for most of this movie.
Yeah. I like Doctor Strange, though. I enjoyed him in the movie, and I'm looking forward to it. There was a preview of another movie coming that he's going to be more in, it looks like.
Yeah, one of the end credit scenes, they haven't done this since Captain America, the first Avenger, when they just, at the end, one of their post-credit scenes was just literally a trailer for the Avengers. They did literally just a trailer for the Doctor Strange movie, the Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, or whatever it's called. It looks like Wanda's going to be in that.
Oh, yeah, that'll be cool.
Which is cool, and maybe she'll get her kids back from some kind of multiversal dimension or something.
That was another thing that had the audience screaming obnoxiously.
Mm-hmm. But at least that was at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
The other post-credit scene was Venom, and apparently there's a little bit of Venom symbiote that somehow gets left behind.
That's weird.
When he goes away, so that's going to be I don't know if they're going to bring the same Tom Hardy Venom, or if it's going to be a different Venom. I don't know if it's going to be Topher Grace, but I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do with Venom, but there's going to be some kind of Venom symbiote in this universe now.
I want to see the old Venom or the new Venom movie or whatever.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
Is it like streaming somewhere?
I'm sure it is. I'm sure we'll be able to find it somewhere.
Okay. Because, again, I'm never going to the theater. I mean, I'm sure it's not in the theater anymore, but...
No, it's definitely not in the theater. They've already had a sequel. So there's original recipe Venom, and then there's Venom Let There Be Carnage with your favorite Woody Harrelson.
What the hell?
Yeah, there's been 2 Venom movies.
When was the first movie out?
I don't know, like 2018, 2019, I don't know, 2020.
Oh, my God.
It's been a while.
We're in the bubble.
Right. Here's my question, though. The plot of this movie. So this is what I think is the interesting thing to talk about when it comes to this movie. The plot of this movie is that all these people come here because of a spell Doctor Strange did when that Peter Parker kept changing. And so all these different people, the villains and stuff, come, and the other Spider-Men come there, right? And he says, because Aunt May says to him, hey, you got to help these people because they're going to go to this other, they're going to go back to their lives and die because all these people died. And he's like, okay, all right, I'll help them. I'll do it. So he wants to save everyone and make sure they don't die in whatever universe they get sent back to, right? And then he does. At the end of the movie, spoilers, he does save them all. And so Doc Ock gets, he's free of the control of the tentacles, and now he's in control, and he's a calm, normal man again. The Green Goblin gets the Green Goblin, whatever, like schizophrenia, whatever the fuck it is,
right,
out of his head, and he's cool now.
Oh, it's been so long since I haven't had the voices.
Yeah, Electro's good again. Sandman's been turned back into a human again. Fucking Kirk Connors is cured and isn't a lizard man anymore, right? Mm-hmm. So they've all been cured, and then they all get sent back to their respective universes. So what happens now? Did they just create new universes, or are they just all going to be fine? Like, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are part of this, so when they go back to their universes, and at one point did they get pulled out? Because Doc Ock talks about, he's like, oh yeah, I was squeezing him, I was going to kill him, and then something happened, then I was here.
Well,
and then like the other one's like, Electro's like, oh, I was absorbing all this power, and so he's like, oh shit, I was about to get beat, wasn't I? And then he got here, so they were all pulled at a point in their movies when they were about to lose and die. When did the other Spider-Man come there?
It sounded to me like they did die.
Yeah.
So when he sends them back, like they had talked about this, am I going to be dead when you send me back? I think that's still a possibility. He cured them, whatever. If they were dead, though, they're dead.
So, but I don't understand how time is working then.
Yeah.
Is it going to be present day? What's present day for their universe? How long's Tobey Maguire been Spider-Manning for? You know, because he's like 50 years old. Like I don't know. It's what I'm saying is, what happens to those movies? What happens to those universes? The Sam Raimi universe now. Is there just a good Norman Osborn and a good Otto Octavius in that universe now? What's canon? What isn't? What happens? What happens to the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movies? What's going on with that?
I don't know.
I think that all the superheroes just die. Like time stops in their universes. They get sent back. They have no time to talk, and they just still die.
So I wonder if they, like, if they're going to address that in the Multiverse of Madness movie.
They're going to have to. They're going to have to. And I'm sure even though it, to me, makes sense that they would be dead, I'm sure they won't be, because that doesn't make a good story.
Yeah, and I just, like, it makes me feel like we're not, this isn't the last we're going to see of these people.
Yeah, maybe.
And I mean, you know, for those of you that have seen Loki and knows what happens in the Loki, I'm not going to spoil anything. Don't worry.
I have only seen the first 2 episodes of Loki.
For those of you that know what happens in Loki, maybe that's going to play a role into what's going on here too. I don't know, because there's a lot of multiverse dimensional stuff going on in there as well.
Well, I guess for you have seen that show, What If? I guess it's coming into the movies too.
Yeah. This is What If's another thing where it's a
with the multiverse. I wonder if we'll have
I also saw like some of those time gods up there when the universe was breaking.
Oh, it did. It did kind of look like there was some Watchers there. Yeah,
that was kind of cool. Good call out there, Belle. That's actually what I was gonna say. So.
Oh yeah.
When she interrupted me.
Uatu, the Watcher.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no Ultron robots though. That was the main villain of What If, you know, at the end.
Yeah.
Infinite Ultron or whatever they call it.
What I really liked about this movie, though, was the love story.
Yeah, a tragic love story, too, though.
Yeah.
2 tragic love stories.
2.
One with May and Happy.
Oh,
and then one with MJ and Peter Parker.
Can you stop doing that? You're making a lot of noise.
Sorry. But there's one thing that I gotta say. If you haven't seen What If, you should go watch it.
Okay. All right, why don't you go play now and let Mom and I finish up.
Love you.
Bye.
So that was Bella.
Your brother should be home.
The door won't open.
Push. Don't pull. There you go.
Holy shit. Okay. Anyway, so you were saying
The love story with him and MJ, it was cool watching them like together in the beginning and everything they're going through, and then, you know, the strain on their relationship towards the end, and because none of them are getting into MIT because of him.
Yeah, that was more towards the beginning, but
yeah, but then in the end he lets them all forget him, and it's sad.
it is sad. Well, yeah, because that's the only way that Doctor Strange can fix it, is to make it so that everyone forgets who Peter Parker is.
It's so weird. Like, I thought at first what he was doing, instead of making everyone forget who Peter Parker was, they were just forgetting if they knew he was Spider-Man. That's what I thought.
Right, no, they're all forgetting him completely. So it's weird because he met all the Avengers, so they're not gonna know him. I thought it was maybe like a clever way because Sony owns the rights to Spider-Man and they partner with Marvel. They share characters. Obviously, Doctor Strange is, you know, an MCU character, and they all share the same universe and everything. And I thought, this is an interesting way to write it in case they don't negotiate another deal with Sony, so that Spider-Man can't be in the universe anymore. It's a really easy way to be like, no one knows who he is. Like it's like a very convenient way to write him out completely, because no one even remembers that he exists or that he was ever part of the Avengers.
Right.
But I've heard, you know, Amy Pascal, who runs this division of Sony that does all the Spider-Man movies. and is friends with Kevin Feige. She said, we're going to work on the next trilogy with the MCU, and she said, we're committed to keeping him in the Marvel universe. So I guess they've struck some sort of deal where they're going to keep doing things. So they're probably going to do 3 more that are in the MCU. So, but it's going to be weird because no one's going to know who he is.
Yeah, how is he going to handle that?
Yeah.
He's in. It looked like the apartment, almost the same apartment that Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man had gotten. Yeah, but he's all by himself now.
It's funny because at one point Aunt May says to him, "Hey, Peter, with great power, comes great responsibility. You've heard that old chestnut." And then as soon as she said that, I was like, "Oh well, she's gonna die then," because every time someone says that in a Spider-Man movie, they die. And she dies, and then he's all pissed off and going through emotional turmoil because he's lost. We never really seen him lose anything, He's always been this happy-go-lucky Spider-Man. He doesn't have parents. We don't know exactly why. I mean, they're dead, but we don't know. Was he a baby? We don't know the circumstance of what happened to his parents.
Yeah, somebody said to Aunt May, "You're his mother," basically. So.
Yeah, and we don't know what happened to Uncle Ben, or if there even was an Uncle Ben for him in this universe.
Hey, has she mentioned an Uncle Ben?
No. So, we don't know if she was married before or and lost her husband or what. But anyway, so she dies because she's kind of like his Uncle Ben character. So she dies, and he finally it's a character growth moment for the character because he finally actually has some stakes, some very personal stakes for him, and then when the other Spider-Men are talking about hey, we know what you've been through, he's like, you don't fucking know, how can you know? Mm-hmm. And he says she said with great power comes great responsibility, and Tobey Maguire finishes the great responsibility. He's like, yeah. It's like, how did you know that? It's funny because it's not like that. It's not necessarily a unique thing to her or whatever. But he's like, how could you figure that one out? And he's like, yeah, Uncle Ben said that right before on the day he died, and that Andrew Garfield didn't say, but I wish he would have said, yeah, my Uncle Ben also said it, but not in a much less eloquent way than that. In a much more convoluted, very wordy way.
Right.
And he was played by Martin Sheen.
I didn't like Andrew Garfield's stuff as much.
He's goofier.
Yeah.
He's the goofy Spider-Man. He's comic relief-ish Spider-Man. And
I don't get the whole Gwen Stacy thing. Why is there an alternate MJ?
Well, there's Mary Jane and Gwen Stacy. So in the comic books, I guess he dated both at different times. Gwen Stacy's in the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies. That blonde woman that he reenacts the kiss that he had with Mary Jane in the third Spider-Man movie?
Yeah.
That's Gwen Stacy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so there was no Mary Jane in the Amazing Spider-Man universe. He was just dating Gwen Stacy.
So I guess that guy just likes Gwen Stacy.
And she died.
Okay.
So that's what was going on with her, and he was very upset about it the whole time, very, very cryy about it. And this Spider-Man movie, in the tradition of Spider-Man movies, and there hasn't the MCU ones, the Tom Holland ones haven't had this yet, but in the tradition of Spider-Man movies, it ends in a graveyard.
Oh, yeah.
As all good Spider-Man movies do.
Yeah, this time it's at his aunt's grave.
Yep.
And Happy is there.
Mm-hmm. And doesn't know who Peter Parker is.
Little salt in the wound.
Everyone was like, when and it even kind of got me. But he's like, they're talking and everything, and he's like, how'd you know her? And everyone's like, oh. And it's like, yeah, but we knew that everyone forgot him. But it's still, even when he said that, I was kind of like, oh, that's a,
yeah,
stab right in the gut. But yeah, so.
Do you think that eventually they'll make everyone remember him again?
I don't know. I don't know. What do you think of J. Jonah Jameson in this universe, though, with his online Daily Bugle? Spider-Man is a menace.
I hate him, and I always hate him.
I love J.K. Simmons, though, and he's the perfect J. Jonah Jameson.
But his character sucks.
Yeah, he definitely does. But yeah, I mean that was the movie. I think it's highly enjoyable. It does open a huge can of worms as to how you go from here with the character, and because he's really a Spider-Man on his own now.
Right.
And took 3 movies, but now he's going to be a Spider-Man on his own, I would imagine. But what happens to the other universes? So it opens a big can of worms as far as that goes. It's going to be hard to get that genie back in the bottle.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see all the different consequences of everything that happened in this movie.
Yeah, the Doctor Strange trailer basically just opens up with it. You fucked up.
Right.
But yeah, so that is the episode. If you're listening to this, obviously you are a loyal Patreon subscriber, and we love and thank you for that. We love our Patreon subscribers. You guys are the best.
And if somehow you got some kind of copy of the tape without subscribing to Patreon, there's lots more like this, so you should subscribe to
Absolutely.
Patreon.
Bonus shows and exclusive early releases, commercial free always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just check it out.
Absolutely. Very cheap. Very cheap for us. All right, we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.